networking, referrals, strategies for success, and real-life stories from professionals who are building a business based on relationship marketing. Welcome to the Caerusnet Podcast. Here, you'll learn how to stay connected in the local business community and become that person others get to know, like, and trust, and refer to. And now, your host, Caerusnet founder, Steve Zyskowski.
Well, I wanna tell you all the places we can go.
Thanks for joining us on the Caerusnet Podcast. I've got with me today Brandon Sacker, the owner of TCI Restoration. His second tour in Caerusnet. We'll talk about that in just a little while. But Brandon, welcome to the podcast. It's great to see you. We reconnected at Referraltopia recently.
Yeah, great to see you too. Thanks for having me on the podcast here. Excited to share some exciting things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, hey, let's do this. Let's look back in time just a little bit. As I mentioned, this is your second tour in Caerusnet. You were a client of mine for a period of time. I understand that Doug Moffitt's provided you with leadership coaching, and you guys formed a relationship. And then you've had a big development where you purchased a company, and you're one of Doug's Caerusnet members now. So that's so cool. We'll talk more about that in a second. But I wanted to get the going down memory lane just a little bit. How did you learn about Caerusnet? Who was the first person that told you about it? How did that go down?
Yeah, so TCI Restoration, and now it's if you can still hear me, now it's TCI Home Services. But Chris Atkinson actually was a former Caerusnet member back when he first started the business. So TCI Restoration, TCI has actually been in business for 34 years. And so, I mean, TCI has been around and has been with you for, since the very beginning, I believe. Is that correct, Steve?
Yeah. Chris was in really early on. I think that at the time, even a gentleman named Lance McCarty might have been working with him. I'm not sure if you and Lance know each other.
Oh yeah. Me and Lance, we've worked together. Yep.
Small world, huh? I remember Lance when he weighed about 175 pounds.
That's awesome.
Well, that's great. Thanks for sharing that with me and how you learned about Caerusnet. And maybe you can let the audience know then, you mentioned there's been a change in name for the company and a change in ownership. So let's talk about that a little bit. How did all of that go down?
Yeah, so about 15 years ago, Chris and I, we connected, and I started working for him. And Chris had developed a lead generation business, and then him and I actually developed a company and a product called RMR Solutions, and we developed a stain remover for mold, and specifically. TCI was using that product to do mold remediation and to remove mold staining up in attics. And, I worked for him for years and helped grow both businesses. And it got to a point where Chris wanted to sell TCI, and it gave me an opportunity to cross over and become an owner and myself and kind of step away from RMR and have something of my own. And so that's kind of how the ownership started. And it was TCI Restoration. So TCI started off doing janitorial, carpet cleaning, and then got into restoration and mold remediation. And the reason why I changed it to home services is because I want to be able to offer more than just restoration services, and more than just mold remediation. And we actually got into attic insulation because 90% of the houses that we went up into the attics and we were doing mold remediation, they didn't have enough insulation. They were under insulated. And so we were at a conference and I looked at Chris. I'm like, hey, why don't we do attic insulation? And so we partnered with the largest network called Contractor Nation and Dr. Energy Saver. And we're not a franchise, but we're trained and certified by Contractor Nation. We install their products and their methods to attic insulation and energy savings, home comfort. And I'm proud to say it. They have probably the best program in the country.
Well, that's great. Yeah, especially, living in Michigan where you have such weather extremes as well too. Insulation is probably the most important thing that any homeowner can do to be sure that they've got the right energy savings. And then you also mentioned the comfort, being more comfortable in the house as well too.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's awesome. And so it's now TCI Home Services. What areas I know right now your major focus is on mold remediation and also on attic insulation. Do you foresee additional services coming on?
We're very busy and very fortunate to have the work that's coming in right now. And I just made my first year of owning the business, and it's fine tuning it. And before I bring on anything other than that, I got a little bit more to go and a little bit more to learn, training, hiring on more people. So probably within maybe the next year, we might add on some different types of insulation. I'm working on getting my builder's license so I can expand into new builds and do other stuff, but
Cool.
primarily retrofit, pulling out old insulation and putting in new insulation, and then the mold remediation aspect as well.
All right, well, that's fantastic. Well, I do congratulate you on your new ownership role. I will let you know that when you were on my Caerusnet team, I always felt like you had that ownership, that owner kind of presence. You spoke like an owner. You didn't speak like an employee. I only work here. You were somebody that was always kind of taking charge and speaking very clearly and thoughtfully. So I'm not surprised that this is what you're doing right now. And again, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's talk about your CirrusNet experience. Do you have any sort of a success story, something that kind of stands out for you that you really enjoy about CirrusNet that you can share with the audience?
The biggest thing is that stands out right off the top is meeting new people. I love meeting new people and seeing what they have to offer, and the differences, and staying connected within the community. And I strive. I'm happy when I can make other people happy, and so I'm able to do that more as before without being part of a referral network, right? I mean, I strive to get that referral down on that piece of paper, when we meet on a Tuesday, because it's just a good feeling to try and help someone out if they're looking for more work or to grow their business. So hopefully that answered everything there.
Yeah, yeah, I think I value the same thing. I enjoy just kind of being a part of somebody's journey, being a positive part of it, right? Whether I can do that by providing you know, camaraderie and providing knowledge, whether it's providing referrals or connections. It does feel good to help other people because, quite honestly, um, all of us probably wouldn't have gotten to where we've gotten in life if there weren't people along the way willing to pitch in and willing to make our lives a little bit better. So to me, I look at it as kind of a pay it forward type model. It feels great to do. You can never lose helping people out. And as long as you give freely, the world will show you that everything will come back to you tenfold. You just got to believe in it. You just got to believe in it and do it for the right reasons. It's challenging when people give a referral and they're like, "Hey, I've got a referral for you, but where's mine? Give me mine too." It's not a trade for referrals. It could be the person that you refers somebody else on the team, and because they made that referral happen to a person on the team, that person's reinvigorated about their own membership, and they're the person that refers you. So, it's like
Yep.
passing the ball around, right? It's a team sport, and we want to try to get as many people touching the ball as possible. How
Yep.
about now that you've had, two stints in Caerusnet, uh, and let's say you have a new member joining one of your groups, or you meet a new Caerusnet member, uh, what kind of tips or advice might you have for them for their own success in this network?
Yeah, just try and meet, do the trust builders, and you wouldn't believe, how far that goes. And try to meet with everybody, and because one person knows 10 people know 100. I mean, it just, you never know, and you won't know unless you try. Too, if you just, hey, I'm just going to go to this group every couple Tuesdays and think that you're going to get something out of it and say your member minute or do your spotlight, I forget what the saying is, but you get out what you put in, and I'm a firm believer on that. And um I'm still working at it. My goal for this year is to get at least one referral to everybody in my group, and I think that should be everybody's goal. That's why we're there. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great goal. I'm glad you said that. I think that there's two arts to this. The first art is being great with new people that you meet, right? So having that great first impression, where when you do a trust builder, it's an authentic trust builder. So not just a, hey, we're going to go have coffee and just schmooze. It's actually going to the CirrusNet website, clicking on the resource tab and clicking Trust Builder Guide, and actually following that little guide through your trust builder. When people do that, they're going to uncover so much information, so much more than if they were just winging it. And then the other nice thing is if people actually commit to using that resource, the last part of the T in trust is the to-dos. What am I going to do for you? What are you going to do for me now that we've invested an hour with each other, right? Here's
yep.
somebody I'd like to connect you with. Is that a good connection for you? Or, hey, I think I know somebody that could be a potential client. Let me see if they're interested in getting a quote. Doing those things is creates the action, and the action is what validates the intention. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
I think that's really important to do those trust builders. Again, that first art is just having those great initial meetings where people walk away feeling like Brandon's awesome, right? I'm really glad I met with Brandon. This is somebody I trust. The second art isn't just being great with people that you meet first. It's being able to cultivate and deepen the relationships with those people that are no longer new anymore. You don't want a relationship to go stale just because you've met somebody and you know who they are for a few years. You got to ask yourself, when's the last time I did anything for that person? We need to do a trust builder again. I need to find out what's going on in their lives. So to me, it's an art of honoring the relationships we already have and then making room for more.
Yep.
So awesome. Brandon, I'm so glad that you've had this adventure in your life. I could just tell when I saw you at Referraltopia on March 6th, you had an extra special glow. I think the other thing that happened too is I've always known you with, I think, maybe a longer beard, maybe longer hair. I didn't recognize you immediately. I'm like, who is this guy? But looking good, man. Taking names and numbers and just blazing straight ahead. Brandon Sacker, TCI Home Services. All of Brandon's contact information will be in the show notes. Should you like to connect with Brandon? Brandon, anything else you'd like to leave us with as we wrap up
Yeah.
the podcast?
Yeah, anybody that listens to this, let's set up a trust builder. Let's see how I can help you. Let's see how you can help me, and let's connect some people.
Beautiful. There's the invitation, everybody. Brandon, have a great rest of your year. I look forward to hopefully seeing you at the Cirrus Net Breakfast this July.
You got it. Take care. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.